a really quick recap of mean, median, mode and range. So I'm using the same data. 10 people were surveyed about the number of cars in their household. The mean is the average, and its symbol is an X with a bar on top. And it's basically saying if you shared everyone's scores evenly, what would each person get? It is the total of all the scores, or the sum of all the scores is more correct, I'm sorry, divided by the number of scores. So you do not have to show the working where you write 1 plus 3 plus 2. You add this up for 6, 9, 10, 20. There's 20 cars in this group of 10 people, and there's 10 people that I surveyed. That's very usefully an average of 2 cars per household. That's the mean. Let's do the mode before I do the median. The mode is the most frequent score. If you are dealing with a frequency table where you cannot see the most frequent score, such as this one we did before, you would give the modal class. The modal class here is from 10 to 20, because that's where most of the scores were. And when we have, however, data like this, we can see quite clearly that the mode is 2 for this data here. We could clearly see that when we did that with the dot plot. This is the dot plot for that number of cars. The highest frequency is the mode. If nothing has a frequency over 1, that is, no score is repeated, there is no mode. If there is more than one score or class that has the highest frequency, then we have multiple modes or modal classes. The range is the top score minus the bottom score, which in this case is 4 minus 0, which is 4, which says my data is spread out by 4 scores. The median is the middle score, and there are a couple of ways to find the median. So I'm actually just going to go back to this data here. You can get the median pretty easily by putting your data in order, if you choose to do that, and you can get that really easily from your dot plot. 0, 1, 1, there's 4 2s. And you can just count in, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when there's an even number of scores, then in fact your median is the average of the 2 middle scores. Now the average of 2 and 2 is 2. If these were 2 different scores, you would add them together and divide by 2. So the median here is quite clearly 2. But I'd like to show you a couple of tricks that you can do instead of putting this in order. It's important to be able to find the position of the median score. It's not just half the number of scores. There's 10 scores here. If we said, well, half of that is 5, then this is the 5th score. That would be the median, and that's obviously incorrect. So the median position is the number of scores divided by 2 plus a half. And that will say the number of scores here is 10. 10 divided by 2 plus a half. That will be 5.5. I want the 5.5th score. 5.5 is not the median, but I want halfway between score 5 and score 6. You can obviously see here that I could represent this as n plus 1 divided by 2 as well. I just like to think of it as a half plus a half rule. Half the number of scores plus a half tells you which position to look at for your median. Now, from that, you then don't have to go and put everything in order. You can just find the 5.5th score, either from a dot plot, Score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. It's halfway between two 2's, it's going to be 2. Another quick example for the median from this stem and leaf plot we did before. Somewhere in here is the middle score. You need to find the number of scores. We surveyed 20 people. So the median position is n over 2 plus a half. So half of 20 is 10. 10 plus a half says I want the 10.5th score, or halfway between the 10th and 11th. So you count out. Remember, smallest to largest. 2, 5, 0, 1. Like counting out like this. You can cross them off if you want. So that's 2 scores, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's the 10th score. There's the 11th score. They are not 9 and 1. It is 19 and 21. So your median is 19 plus 21 over 2. The average of 19 and 21, which is, of course, 20. So that's how you get a median position. Sorry, I'll tell you your median position under there. That was 10.5. And that's how you count out and find that position in a stem and leaf plot to get your median